Good morning, dear colleagues. My name is Kayone Magano, a class teacher for grade 1 at this very school, Ongolo Combined School. I'm a final year student at the University of Namibia. I'm doing INSET. So today I'm going to present to you the knowledge that I acquired from the Learning Support and Numeracy module. Colleagues, you are advised to take note and ask questions by the time that I'm done presenting. So I have acquired the knowledge as follows. First of all, let me talk about learning support cycle or learning support process. Learning support involves plain methods and materials that enable learners with learning difficulties and other special needs. Example, counseling to reach essential basic competencies in the different subjects and skills. Learning support is a way to ensure that all learners are able to make progress and achieve according to their potential. Learning support also caters for the needs of intellectually gifted learners. Those needs can be met by offering enriched activities as part of everyday lessons. Yes. Moving on, we have differentiated instruction. Differentiated instruction means that a teacher's lesson plan includes strategies to support the range of different academic backgrounds found in the classroom that are academically, culturally, and linguistically diverse. When differentiating, you have to consider the learner's profile and the three critical elements, which are content, process, and product. We also have tired lessons. Tired lessons includes the degree of assistance, how structured the task is, the complexity of the task given, or the complexity of the process. Then moving on to number 4, we have Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy includes questioning words or verbs of different levels, where we have remembering when we are requiring the kids to remember. Here kids are retrieving, recognizing, and recalling relevant knowledge from the long-term memory. Yes. And then we have understanding. Understanding involves constructing meaning from oral, written, and graphic messages through interpreting, classifying, summarizing, inferring, comparing, and explaining. Yes, and then we also, under Bloom taxonomy, the levels of questioning, we also have applying. Applying refers to carrying out a procedure through executing or implementing. Yes, we also have analyzing, where we are breaking materials into constituent parts, determining from the parts related to one from an oral structure or purpose through differentiating organizing and attributing. We also have evaluating, making judgments. Yes, under evaluating, this is where we make judgments based on criteria and standard through checkings and critiquing. Yes, those are all the levels of questioning under Bloom's taxonomy. Then we're moving to number 5, we have CRA. CRA stands for Concrete Representational Abstract. And this is it's a sequential approach during which learners move from working with concrete materials to creating presentation drawings or using abstract symbols. These strategies aid learners to develop through mental representations that are foundation for conceptual understanding. We also have VAKT. This method is not normally used in classrooms. It is one of the special methods that have been developed for learners with serious reading problems. All the senses are involved in learning to read: auditory, kinesthetic, tactical, and tactical. Oh, yes. See the word here, see the word, hear the word said by the teacher and repeated by himself. Trace the word on the desk, on the paper, on letters made out of sandpaper, all in wet sand. Feel the muscle movement as they trace the words. And then we have the advantages of this method is that the learner who has visual or auditory problems can learn through his or other senses. At the same time, the visual and auditory senses are strengthened. The method can be integrated with other approaches. Right, then we move on to number 7. Number 7, we have early identification and intervention. The purpose of early identification is to determine which children or which learner has developmental problems that may obstacle to learning or that place children at risk. Early identification and intervention. It is often during the early years that families and caregivers first suspect a problem and may share their concern with qualified professionals. And then we move on to number 8. Number 8, we have assistive technologies. Dear colleagues, assistive technologies usually includes devices that people use with assistive technologies. It involves or it includes the devices that people with disability can use to help themselves communicate, learn, travel, do household chores, care for themselves, and have fun, etc. The following are the assistive technology that can be used. Yes, like these are some of the assistive technologies that can be used. Technological aids for hearing impairment, deafness, and hard of hearing. Yes, there are many technological aids available to assist persons with hearing impairment. These include alert devices such as clock alarm, vibrators, flashlight, hearing aids such as amplifying instruments with or without FM system, computer-aided assistant instruction, and educational interpreter, to name just a few. Technological aids for visual impaired. Technological aids used for the visual impaired has grown, and the following options are available: Perkins Braillers, Braille note takers, and Braille keyboarding. Then we also have individualized education plan. It's also one of them. That is an IEP is a written plan describing the special needs education program and all services required by the particular learner. It identifies learning expectations that are modified from or alternative to the expectation given in the curriculum policy document for the appropriate grade and subject, of course, or any accommodation and special education needs services needed to assist the learner in achieving his or her learning expectation. The IEPs of learners who have no modified or alternative expectations will focus only on accommodations and services. The IEP is not a daily lesson plan internalizing every detail of the learner's education. Dear colleagues, the IEP involve the following stages. Yes, what I'm going to mention here are the stages of the IEP. We have the first one, which is identification. Before an IEP is written for a child with a specific educational learning needs or disability, the school must first determine whether the child qualifies for special needs education services. To qualify, the child's specific educational learning needs and disability must have an adverse effect on the child's educational progress. Merely having a specific educational learning needs and disability is not sufficient for eligibility. Then we have evaluation. Evaluation is to determine eligibility. The school must conduct a full evaluation of the child in all areas of suspected specific educational learning needs or disability. Based in the part of the result of the evaluation, the school along with the parents they have to meet and review the results and the child's current level of performance and to determine whether specific needs education service is needed for that child. The team produces a comprehensive evaluation report, which is called CER. And then we also, under IEP, we also have developing IEP. After this, the child is determined to be eligible for specific needs education service, the IEP team must develop an individual education plan to be implemented as soon as possible after eligibility is determined. Yes, the team makes decision using the results of the full individual evaluation, and the IEP team works together to identify the child's present level of education performance, the child's specific academic and may relate to special needs services that the child needs in order to benefit from the intervention. Yes, under IEP we also have placement. After the IEP is developed, the IEP team then determines the placement that is the environment in which the child's IEP can most readily be implemented. Idea requires that the IEP be complete before placement decisions are made. This is because the child's educational needs drive the IEP development process. Schools may not develop a child IEP to fit into a pre-existing program for a particular classification of disability. The IEP is written to fit the student. The placement is chosen to fit the IEP. Under IEP, we also have implementation. Here, after the IEP is developed and placement is determined, the child's teachers are responsible for implementing all educational services, program modifications, or support as indicated by the individual education plan. Under IEP, we also have annual review. The IEP team conducting an annual review to ensure that the learner is meeting goals and making progress on the benchmark specified for each objective. Yes, all these the above mentioned are included in there, are part of the IEP or are the stages of the IEP. We have identification, evaluation, development, placement, implementation, and then annual review. Those are all stages of IEP. And then we move on to number 10. We have tic-tac-toe strategy. Tic-tac-toe strategy. Create a 3x3 block and fill in the required activities for each block. Yes, and here, like, do you guys understand? Like, I'm saying, under tic-tac-toe strategy, like, you have to create a 3x3 block like this. Yeah, like this. And fill in the required activities for each block. Yes. Learner choose 3 activities, either going straight across, straight down, or diagonally in a straight line. Yeah, like this, straight line. Yes. The set of available choices should include a variety of activities types and the basic competence of the specific syllabus. Make sure that whichever direction a child chooses, there will be different levels of expectations. Yes. And also, each learner can choose what he or she wants to do from the tic-tac-toe chart by choosing 3 activities, either going across, going down, or going diagonal. Yes, here the set of available choices should include a variety of activity types and the basic competence in the specific syllabus. Thus, a learner will show what knowledge was gained regarding the topic. That brings us to the end of my presentation, colleague. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. So maybe I can just welcome any question if there is any question. Mr. Theophilus, it seems like you have a question, sir.